So it's another beautiful day on the Battle for Azeroth Beta. And today we're taking a look at the spamalicious Havoc Demon Hunter. So Havoc has also been on the receiving end of the rework stick. So I'll be going over all the latest changes to the spells and abilities as well as the new talents. And a friendly reminder, this is beta footage, so it's subject to change, but it will probably not change that much. And if you like these kind of videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button and let's get on with the video. So starting off with the spellbook, Chaos Strike has been reworked a bit, so it no longer refunds Fury on critical strikes. It instead has a 40% chance to refund 20 Fury when used. And this actually works great in my opinion, because it's not gated behind any gear. You're always getting the max benefit out of your Chaos Strike spam. It's not you have to have X amount of crit, or you have to have X amount of haste, or anything like that. It's just 40% chance, flat. Awesome. Moving on, our Pew Pew Lasers I-Beam has been polished a bit as well. It's now on a 30-second cooldown, down from 45 seconds. It costs 30 Fury up from 25, and it now deals 100% increased damage against your primary target. Pretty nice change, works even better on cleave now and also better on single target. And consume magic is now a purge on a 10-second cooldown, and you consume one beneficial magic effect from your target. And doing so also generates 20 Fury, and it's on a 30-yard range, and overall it's a pretty nice addition to our already awesome toolkit. And on that note, our interrupt is now called Disrupt. It's on a 15-second cooldown and on a 10-yard range, which is down from 20 in Legion. It generates 30 Fury if you successfully interrupt a target. Moving on, Chaos Nova, your AoE stun. It only lasts for 2 seconds now instead of 5, and it has a 30% chance per target stun to generate a lesser soul fragment. Imprison is now on a 45-second cooldown, up from 15 seconds, so a little less useful as an interrupt, but it still serves its purpose as an end cap. And Metamorphosis is now on a 4-minute cooldown instead of 5. And they've added Demonic Wards, a passive that reduces our magic damage taken by 10%, which is, I mean, pretty dang handy, less damage taken. And then we have, I guess you'll call it a raid buff. It's Chaos Brand. Our Chaos damage attacks increases the target's magical damage taken by 5%. And I think that pretty much covers all the changes that they made to our standard or basic toolkit. So let's take a look at the talent row and what kind of magic they've done with this. So starting off with the 99 row, Blind Fury, Demonic Appetite, and Fellblade. Blind Fury, your I-Beam generates 40 Fury every second, and its duration is increased by 50%, so more damage and loads of Fury when you pop your eye lasers. So Demonic Appetite, Chaos Strike has a chance to spawn a lesser soul fragment, and consuming any soul fragments grants 30 Fury. So kinda like in Legion, spam Chaos Strike, then spam A and D, hoping to pick up a fragment so you can spam more. And Fellblade, it's on a 15-second cooldown, and Demon Spite has a chance to reset that cooldown when used. You charge your target dealing X amount of damage and you generate 40 Fury. So just an overall Fury generation increase with some more RNG thrown into the mix. Personally, I like Demonic Appetite. I like that spamming Chaos Strike fuels the Chaos Strike spam. And moving on to the 100 row, Insatiable Hunger, Demon Blades, and Immolation Aura. So Insatiable Hunger, Demon Bite generates up to 10 additional Fury. So like the old legendary rings, sometimes you get a little bit more and sometimes you get a lot more. Demon Blades replaces your Demon Bites. You no longer have a gainer to spam, instead your auto attacks have a 60% chance to deal additional damage and generate Fury for you. So if you want to press Chaos Strike and nothing else, this is the talent for you. And lastly, the brand new Immolation Aura, bringing back the Demon Hunter class fantasy to the Havoc spec. So it's on a 30-second cooldown, you engulf yourself in flames, instantly causing X amount of damage to all enemies within 8 yards, and ticking damage to all enemies every second, and it's up for 10 seconds. It also generates 80 Fury over its duration. So you pop it, it looks cool as hell, and you do a shit ton of AoE damage and generate some fury. Personally, how could I not rock Immolation Aura? It looks damn good and it seems to work very well. But we'll see how the tuning goes. Might end up with Immo Aura on AoE and Cleave and Insatiable Hunger for single target. Praying that Demon Blades won't be any good. And the 102nd row, Trail of Ruin, Fell Mastery and Fell Barrage. Bit of an AoE row. So Trail of Ruin, the final slash of a Blade Dance applies a dot that deals X amount of chaos damage over 4 seconds. And Fell Mastery, your Fell Rush deals 100% more damage. Nice and simple. And then we have Fell Barrage. It's on a 60-second cooldown, 3-second channel. You unleash a torrent of Fell energy to all enemies within 8 yards. So pretty much you decimate entire packs with this or deal a shit ton of damage on single target. Currently, this one seems to be the best for all and any encounter, but I'm guessing tuning isn't where they want it to be. And the 104th row, Soul Rending, Desperate Instincts and Netherwalk. Soul Rending has been nerfed and reworked, so it increases your overall leech by 10% passively, but it only adds 10% leech during Metamorphosis, so no longer immortal during Metamorphosis. And Desperate Instincts, Blur now reduces damage taken by an additional 15% and you automatically trigger Blur when you fall below 35% health. So for anyone who doesn't know when to pop a defensive, this is the talent for you. And Netherwalk, on a 2-minute cooldown you pop it, you move 100% faster and become immune to any and all damage for 5 seconds, but you can't attack during it. And this is just brokenly good for some encounters. Sure, DPS loss, but you can handle a lot of shit because of it. So it all comes down to encounters. Soul Rending is great for added self-sustain and the other talents are geared more towards added survivability against certain mechanics. Moving on, 106, Cycle of Hatred, First Blood and Dark Slash. So, Cycle of Hatred, when Chaos Strike refunds Fury, it also reduces the cooldown on Metamorphosis by 3 seconds. So, on the same line as our old legendary shoulders, but now they focus on how lucky you get with your Chaos Strike spam. Nice addition though, more Metamorphosis is always fun. First Blood reduces the Fury cost of Blade Dance by 20 and increases its damage done to the first target hit. Works pretty well with Trail of Ruin for single target, and having a bit of fury reduction for AoE isn't half bad. Moving on to Dark Slash, 20-second cooldown and you slash an enemy dealing X amount of damage and increase the damage of your Chaos Strike to that target by 40% for 8 seconds. So fairly high uptime on this one, up for 8 second and 20-sec cooldown. So it's a pure single target talent, but it works well with the Chaos Strike spam that is Havoc. Moving on, 108th row, Unleashed Power, Master of the Glaive and Fell Eruption. So Unleashed Power removes the fury cost of Chaos Nova and reduces its cooldown by 33%. So it's easier to use your AoE stun and you have it up a lot more often, so it's great for dungeons. Master of the Glaive, Throw Glaive has 2 charges and they snare all enemies hit by 50% for 6 seconds, so if you need to slow or kite something. And Fell Eruption, 30-second cooldown, costs 10 fury and you impale the target, dealing X amount of damage and you stun them for 4 seconds. So it's a ranged single target stun that deals a bit of damage. Personally, I don't see any reason at all not to go Unleashed Power here. Having no fury cost on your AoE stun and reducing the cooldown is too good to pass up on. And then the last row, we have Demonic, Momentum and Nemesis. So taking a look at Demonic, I-Beam causes you to enter demon form or metamorphosis for 8 seconds after it's finished dealing its damage. So more meta uptime, works damn well with the Blind Fury talent, being able to go from no fury into maxed out fury and meta. Fuel the spam. And momentum is still here, because they're hell-bent on making it work. Look, you're a mobile class, this talent shows it, you have to run around. So Fell Rush increases our damage done by 15% and Vengeful Wonderful Retreat's cooldown is reduced by 5 seconds and it generates 80 fury over 10 seconds if it damages at least one enemy. Hated it in Legion, hate it now. I get it, we can move around, but let me move around when I want to, not as a freaking pseudo cooldown. Moving on, we have Nemesis. It's on a 2-minute cooldown, increases the damage you do against the target by 25% for 60 seconds. If the target dies before those 60 seconds are over, you get 25% increased damage against that creature type. Like if you popped it on a dragon, you deal more damage to dragons for the remainder of the time. Personally, I find demonic fun as hell to play with, and Nemesis is just a big ass DPS increase, and momentum can go die in a fire for all I care. Maybe a bit harsh, but I really don't like it. It's kinda like a frost mage using blink as a DPS increase. Oh. Wait. But I mean, I personally like him a lot more now than I did in Legion, and yes, it's not overly complicated, but it doesn't have to be. It is pretty damn fun just spamming Chaos Strike until your fingers bleed, and the high mobility is so good. And not to mention, the Demon Hunter has an amazing toolkit. You have AoE stuns, great defensives, you have darkness for added group defensives, you have a semi-ranged interrupt and purge, and combine that with insane AoE and a solid single target DPS. So yeah, they're very strong class for dungeons and for raiding going into Battle for Azeroth. But I can't speak for numbers or tuning just yet, but if you check the gameplay and the toolkit they bring, they're in a good spot. So if you like a fast-paced spammy class that can do it all, look no further. And that's pretty much it for this look at the new Havoc Demon Hunter. And if you have any questions at all, make sure to hit me up in the comments below. I try to answer any and all questions as well as I can. And as always, if you like these kind of videos and want to see more, make sure to hit that subscribe button, leave me a like and ring that notification bell and switch it to all. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.